Stubson here. In this video, I'm going to install Firefox on my Debian 13 system using the Mozilla recommended procedure by setting up the Mozilla Firefox repositories in the Debian apt-get system. Let's get started. The first step has you create this folder, and then we'll assign these permissions to the folder. This folder is actually already created. If I do an ls-l etc app keyrings, there's nothing there, but let's actually do an ls-ld. That will show you the actual permissions and owner of the folder. This folder already exists and it's already set up right. We're going to skip step 1. Step 2 downloads the Mozilla Firefox repo signing GPG key. Let's go ahead and get started with that. Pasted it twice, try again. There we go. So I'm going to explain this once. wget downloads stuff from the web. It will go to this website and it will download this file. Normally it would save that file, but we're giving it a -o option and then adding a dash after that option. That means take whatever you download and send it to standard out. So it's going to send it to this pipe right here. Pipe to sudo t. The whole purpose of this is to basically allow that the output of the file to create a new file, but using sudo. The t command takes the input, splits it, creates a copy in this file, and it creates a copy to standard out, and then we turn around and redirect that standard out to dev null. So the only reason to do it this way is so that you can use the sudo here and create this file. Otherwise you'd have to do everything with sudo. Seems a little ridiculous, but that's the way they did it. Let's go look and see if it actually did anything. So we should have a new file here. Let's go see if it's there. And we do. Before, when I looked up there was no files. And now when I look, we have a file. Let's look at the contents of that file. This is a standard PGP public key. PGP stands for Pretty Good Privacy. That was the original form of this, sort of a ad hoc encryption. And then the GNU people got a hold of it, and now it's called GPG. Alright. In a previous video I installed GPG. So we're going to actually execute this command here. That will take the key that we just downloaded and it will import it. It gave us the this output means that everything worked successfully. Talk briefly about this command. The GPG part up to here is what actually imports whatever's in this file, etc, apt, keyrings, packages, imports it into the GPG database. It takes the output of that, whatever, and it runs it through an awk script. And the awk script basically looks for this number. And if it finds it, it's going to print out that, yep, everything worked. So it did. Let's continue on. The next 3 steps are going to create 3 files. The first one is going to echo everything in between these double quotes right here. So it's going to echo this, and it's going to put it in this file right here. etc apt sources.list.d/mozilla.list. I'm not sure why they use the append option here, but they do. Normally it would create the file. If you use a -a, it will create the file, and if the file already exists, it will just append. Let's go look at the file, see if it did anything. And just like it said, it took everything from here to here and put it in the file. The next step uses an odd bash command line thing. And let me tell you where you're going to bite yourself in the fanny with using this. This is what's called a here document. Whenever you see something like this, cat with a double less than, and then something, it's usually EOF, but it doesn't have to be. What that does is it's going to start on this line, and it's going to take everything until it finds the EOF, and it's going to put it in this file. Etsy app sources list Mozilla sources. It's not going to include the end of file. Now, where you get bit in the fanny with this one is when you're actually copying and pasting this. This works great if you're in a shell script. Quite often, when you copy and paste this from websites, what will happen is you'll get an extra space, or you'll get an extra character turn, or you'll get some extra characters after this EOF, and that breaks it. And I may have even broken it already. Let's see if this works. This actually worked. If it hadn't worked, you would be given something, let's see, echo dash. You'd be given this symbol here, the greater than symbol, which is considered the secondary prompt. All right. So, what did we do? We took these lines right here and we put them in this file. Let's go see that file. Let's display the contents. Etsy app sources, Mozilla sources. There it is. The last statement is going to create yet another file. Very similar concept. It's going to echo 3 lines, and it's going to send those to this file right here. Let's run it, and let's go check and see that it got those got the contents of that correctly. And it did. Okay, we are done configuring the system. We did a couple things. Recap. We made sure that the keyrings folder was there and had the right permissions. We downloaded the Mozilla Firefox GPG key from their website. We imported that key using the GPG command and confirmed that it imported successfully. Then when we created these 3 files, that is actually adding the Mozilla Firefox repository into the Debian system. Now, step 6, we're going to actually update. We're going to tell Debian to go out and update your repositories. This is going to cause Debian, to go out to the Mozilla and get information about all the packages that it supports. And you can see, sure enough, it did go to Mozilla. It also went to itself. It also went to Debian. But Debian was our original package repository, and now we've added the mozilla.org. Alright, you'll notice I didn't execute that entire command. The first half of this command is this part. The second half of the command is this part. The 2 ampersands are a way of chaining commands together, but it's only going to execute the second command if the first command completes successfully. You can do a man bash and it will explain these characters in there. So now I know it completed successfully because I watched it, so I'm just going to run this command. And this is what actually installs Firefox. Okay, it's asking me, hey, do you want to install all these other packages? Yes, I do. It's suggesting these packages. I take a peek at them. I don't know that I need any of those. So we're just going to hit enter because the capital Y is the default. All right, it has now installed Firefox. We are done. I can't test it in this window because this is just a secure shell, so it's text only. So to test it, I'm going to jump over to an actual VNC console. Here we are. Let me go ahead and sign in. I'm going to run my Sway window manager that I installed previously. I had configured a keyboard shortcut of holding the window key down and pressing the letter W. And it launched Firefox. There we go. And that's it. This is how you install Firefox on a Debian 13 system using the recommended approach. Because we've now added it to the Debian repositories, if I do an update, it will update Firefox as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great one.